We're back with another episode. We're back with another episode of Britt Says Season 2. And it's Sunday. I'm just feeling elated. My Sundays are my most productive days. I'm usually like, what's up? And I had a crazy week prior. There's a lot of stuff going on, y'all. And it's a lot of stuff going on. And now it's time for Britt Says. Britt Says is my zen. And I don't want to focus on nothing else but that. But besides that, it's just been a hot week. Very hot. Like heat wave type. Definitely need to find my way to the beach soon. Like ASAP. I know y'all watching this in September, October. So y'all like, she talking about the beach? Yes, I am. This is all pre-recorded for your entertainment. And yeah, I'm just like, what's up? Wait, is my phone ringing? Hey, Britt, I'm coming over. What? Yeah, I'm coming over. Fine, I'll have the wine. Guess I'm having company. So I have company. I have Dina. From Not For Everybody podcast. So I told y'all I was looking up some podcasts from New York City, and I found Dina, and I'm just like, we've been chatting up before we got here, and I just love her personality already.
Oh, thank you.
I'm gonna let her introduce herself.
Well, I'm Dina, and I'm Not For Everybody podcast, and that whole thing came about with me just kind of going through not a rough patch, but just a lot of changes going on in my life, and it's always been a goal of mine kind of to like appease everybody and make everybody comfortable and make sure that I'm good with everybody. And I was hit with this realization that, listen, I'm not for everybody and not everybody is for me, and that's okay. Like, I feel like we live in a world where we're not okay with not being liked or being accepted, and it's a part of life. So once you get comfortable with it and own it, it just goes by so much smoother. And it hit me like, no, that's the name of my podcast, and it's just been flowing with no problems. Very free. I'm a potty now.
And what's your social handles?
My social handles, so my Instagram is Not For Everybody podcast. My Twitter is Not For Everybody 1, I think, because I don't use Twitter as much. Like a lot of people and a lot of podcasts will say that Twitter and Instagram are the places to be. Mm-hmm. I just find a hard time with really being on Twitter because I feel like that's a all-day commitment.
Yeah, I've tried with Twitter too. Like I have a Twitter and I try to go in it too.
Mm-hmm.
It is hard.
You have to be constantly like posting, I think, in order to engage your audience on there, as to where Instagram, it's not needed as much. Like you can throw a couple of posts in one day and not post anything for like 2 or 3 days without losing anybody's interest. I feel like with Twitter, if you're not talking, it's like they either unfollow you or they're muting you.
Right.
I'm not really familiar with that name, but we can always add that at a later time.
Right, you can like somebody's pictures on Instagram and they can see people active.
Exactly.
So I get it with Twitter.
Yeah, so I don't know how people are on there all the time. Like they speak so highly of them. I'm just like, wow. Yeah.
Hey. Yes. So this episode is called Life After Your 30s. And before every episode, we expand our minds. Expand your mind, expand your mind, expand your mind. And we grab a topic from an article. So in an article written on scarymommy.com titled, "This is Life in Your 30s," written by Saida Shabazz. She stated, "I have never dreaded anything more than I dreaded turning 30. Society has always placed such a large amount of pressure on turning 30 that every second I got closer to it filled me with a feeling of overwhelming angst. We have been made to feel that by 30 we're supposed to have our shit together. 30 means that you're an adult and you need to have it all figured out. Of course, once you turn 30, you realize how laughable that is. But before you get there, this is what you're need to believe." She then writes, "Something slowly started to shift during my 30th year. I don't know what it was exactly, but somewhere in there, my give a fuck valve broke. I was fresh out of fucks. I no longer cared about a lot of things I cared about in my 20s. If I wanted to wear leggings covered in unicorns, I fucking did it. I also started to feel more comfortable about getting older, and I was just like, bring it on. So, Dina, you want to tell them?
Okay, so I am 41 with a 21-year-old.
This is amazing. Literally, let me tell y'all a backstory. Before I wrote her, I had wrote her for a whole other episode. Mm-hmm. And she's like, I just want to let you know I'm 41 and I have a 21-year-old child. I said, perfect. God is working in my favor.
Yes,
He knows
I
what
am
I'm
blessed.
looking for.
I am so blessed that I have amazing genes. And so listening to this, let's just get into this really quickly. So where she said that we're made to feel 30. So for me, when I turned 30, the only social media that was really out there, I would like to say, was maybe MySpace. And Facebook, maybe. But the amount of, that was my shit. Like, I'm so upset. Like MySpace, oh my gosh. But the pressures that I feel like your generation is facing now, because there's social media everything, you see all these posts, you see everybody living these lives at 20, 30, popping champagne and all these other celebratory things. I feel like there's a lot more pressure, where that's where anxiety and depression are on our rise now, because we're so consumed by what everybody else is doing. When I turned 30, I was just like, whatever. Like, I didn't have the same thoughts that I had when I hit 40. So where she was at 30, as far as like her not giving a fuck, that didn't hit for me until my 39th. Like when I was 39, I really started looking into things. So a lot of people, like some of my close friends know, but a lot of people who know me don't know, but I was more on like a spiritual path at that time. Okay. Just in a place of trying to like find myself, reflect on my growth, becoming self-aware, because I was not self-aware. I say that now with confidence. Before I would be like, fuck y'all, like I don't know what the hell you're talking about. But now I'm in a space of saying that I wasn't solely self-aware then. Mm-hmm. So when I was 39, I started getting into more self-awareness, spirituality, just trying to find like me. But when 40 hit, it's like midnight. I don't know what it is, because a friend of mine was just on my show recently and she said the same thing when she hit 40. It's like, boom, you wake up at 40 like, I don't give a fuck about how you feel like you feel the shift. It's a feeling like you can't explain. Mm-hmm. And for me, it was like a life event that also hit me at 41, mm-hmm. that it was just like, life is way too short for the fuckery. Mm-hmm. Like, it's okay to shift from who you were. It's not okay for us to stay where we always have been. I feel that's a form of being stagnant. Mm-hmm. It's okay for you to grow, and you need to be around people who are going to embrace that and support you. If you don't have a team that's there to be like, girl, you doing this and you doing that, and that shit ain't cute, especially for your age. Like, you can do better in this area. If your friends, your family, anyone that's close to you is not supporting you mm-hmm. in that area, instead they're trying to kind of bring you back to who you used to be, you may have to cut them. And it's okay to let them go. We have this thing where it's like, if it's a family member, it's just like you're supposed to swallow it. Yeah. Family is not an exception to the rule. If family is negative, if they're not uplifting you and holding you down in the direction that you want to go, you can love them, but you gotta love them from a distance. Your interaction with them is a little bit different. So what I appreciate and value with you guys is that you guys are learning younger. You're using your voice more. You're standing up for yourselves more.
That's so true.
You're going in a direction that maybe a lot of 30 and 40-year-olds wish they had done back then. Like, I wish I was more vocal and vulnerable with my feelings, because I would know to establish boundaries with family, relationships, friends, all of that. I'm thankful that it's happening now, because it's a new it's a new era for me. It's like a new life.
Right.
So I'm able to move on in life in a different path as a different person, but being comfortable with who I am and not so much caring what that looks like to other people.
That makes sense. It's funny you say that because I was having a conversation with one of my friends and I was like, I feel like I can't, I know like my mother, she's 50 and I was just saying how like with millennials, I don't know what's wrong with us. Like I feel like we just speak on everything now. Like we came in this phase where we just like want to speak on everything. Like with Me Too, the cops being up black men. Like we just was like, I don't like it, and I'm gonna say everything we don't like. We literally will say something about it. Like anything we don't like is going to be a problem. You're gonna get cancel culture. Like it's gonna happen. It's definitely gonna happen. And then when I emailed her, I told her, I was like, that's perfect because I remember when Wendy Williams had said that when she turned 40, you turn into this I don't give a fuck mode. And I don't, even though I'm not 40 yet, I could definitely see that because you kind of hitting like that mid, like 50s is now the mid age because people are looking older, but you like at 40 and it's like you already done been through this, that, the third. It's just like, look. And I'm excited. Like when I hear stuff like that, for me, it makes me excited to hit these ages and hit these pinnacle points and things like that. But do you genuinely feel like from maybe the age 23 to let's say 35 you changed? Because even on one of my other guests, we talked about change. And he was saying he feels like people don't change. And sometimes just at 27, I feel like some people are who the hell they are. But I wonder, like, do you change? Like, you might change, like, obviously looks or your style, whatever. But does your mentality change? Does your beliefs change? Truthfully.
So, truthfully, from my perspective, looking back at it, I would say no. I would say that I'm changing and I'm being a better person. The reality was, when I look back at it, I really wasn't. It was more talk, but really not that much action. It's like if I even attempted to do something, I didn't like push with it. I didn't keep consistent with it. So I feel like in between 23 and 30, I wasn't really focusing on a lot of things that I focus on now. I was just living. Like when you're in your 20s, you really don't think about life in the long run. You're living life on a day-to-day basis. You're not really focusing on, okay, I have to do this, I have to do that. The only thing that I was focused on was because I had my son. So that was something that had to keep me on a pattern or a room seat. It's like, all right, well now I gotta go back to college because I have my son and I'm gonna make things better for him. I finished school, I worked, and then I just took care of my son, and that was just what life was. I didn't even really start traveling until I felt he was old enough for me to leave him comfortably without me having to worry. So I feel like in your 20s, 20 to 30, you're just living life. You don't have no cares, concerns. I tell my son all the time, like, you just living life. Like, you're living life because he doesn't think about what he does today, how it will impact him later on. My mental was totally different. Even in my 30s, my mental was totally different. When I look back now, before I always used to say, even in my 30s, I'm like, nope, I'm growing. I'm trying to be a better person. And I really wasn't putting in the work that I started putting in my late 30s to early 40s. So 20, I don't say so much that it's not possible for a person to change, but I feel like at that time of your life, you're really not looking deeply into things to say, I need to change. You're looking at it like, what the fuck is wrong? Like, what am I doing that's so wrong? How can I better myself? What areas do I need to better myself? When you don't acknowledge that there's something wrong, people fail to realize that how can we realistically change something if we don't feel like what we're doing is wrong?
And I think that's one of the key things with a lot of people, or like one of my biggest pet peeves that people say is when they say, like, I'll be like, I don't like this. Well, you already know this is how I am. I've always been this way. Honestly, this trait that you have is not good quality, and you need to work on it. But I get it. Somebody told me change is hard.
It is.
Change is hard.
It takes you out your comfort zone.
It's very hard, and then we kind of hinder people when we allow them to keep doing the same things over and over again.
Yes.
And that's why I wanted to ask, like, do you think people change? Because it's like,
I think everyone has the opportunity to change. I just think that we get so caught up in feeling like when we say that it's something that we don't like, or if we're telling someone that they need to change, we get so frustrated because they're not doing it when we want them to do it. Everybody has their own path.
Right.
Because I used to be like that. I used to say like, oh, this person is just so nasty and they need to change this in order for this to happen. But it's just like, that's their path. We all have our path.
That's
and
true.
When they get there is when they get there. We arrive at our destinations at different times. I used to feel bad that it's just like I'm reaching certain areas at 40 and 41 mentally, but I had to stop doing that and be thankful for me doing it because I'm not old. I'm still pretty young, and I still have enough time to change the qualities about myself that I don't like. So, do I wish that it happened at 20, 25, or 30? I used to, but those experiences that I went through during those times wouldn't have happened if I had reached this point then. So I'm thankful for every stage in my life. And I feel like when we love people enough, we have to accept them for who they are.
Right.
And if anything, help them become a better person. Not beat them down or make them feel like shit because we want them to be this person that we feel. And if you love them enough and you feel like there's no change, you can love them from a distance. You can hate them from a distance. Like whatever your feeling is at that time, it's okay to let it go. But we have to be okay with knowing that we're not all on the same path. I have like a core set of friends that they support my changes that I'm doing for myself personally, because they know that I want to be a better person overall, as far as like a friend, a daughter, a mom, sister, like cousin, whatever it is. And they support it, any change that I'm doing, because they genuinely love me and they're not focused so much on the flaws and the negatives. They're more focused on seeing the positive change and seeing the direction that I'm going in, that they focus more on that than anything else. So you have to be around people that are going to support that. And if you feel like you're around people that aren't on the same path as you, and you feel like this may be the ending of your relationship, it's okay to let it go. You know, we're not taught to let people go off of our life journey because of the timing. We're always taught, and it's always embedded in us, that because you've known this person for so long, they're supposed to be with you forever. That's not the case. It's okay to let them go. It's going to be a hurtful thing. Somebody that you've known for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 25 years, that you've built so many memories. It wasn't always a negative experience, but when you come to the realization that that ending of the road has come, it can hurt. It's like a divorce. It's a divorce. You should have like a divorce party for anything.
So let's say now we can go even more back. Let's say from 18, do you feel like your friend circle and families, well, not your family is always there, but you know, kind of hang with them. Has it changed greatly from when you was 40 years? There are people that you really hung with for 10 years and stopped hanging with them, and you did it. That's excellent. I'm happy to hear that. No, because I think a lot of people really struggle with that, and
we do. I struggled with it for a long time, and because you're struggling with it, you put your blinders on. You make excuses for what they do. You accept the bullshit because you make all these different excuses because you're always keeping in the forefront. That's been my friend for 12 years. That's been my friend for 15 years. Without putting yourself first, as far as how does that person really make you feel? When you push everything to the side, like, are they coming for you? Are they being subliminal? Like, are they throwing little shots at you? Are they supporting your goal? Are they sending you messages of love and support? Do they send you things to hold you accountable for the goals that you're trying to do? Like, when you sit down and you start looking at those things, that's when you start to realize it becoming okay. Now, it might hit everybody at a different level. That didn't really start hitting me until my late 30s. But even when it was hitting me, I still pushed it back because I was putting everybody else before me.
I'm not happy you honest with that. Is you started hitting you at your late 30s.
Yeah.
All right, but a very other big question.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference between accountability and somebody being a hater? Because you know how like somebody can really be telling you like, honestly, you've been trying to do this thing and it's not working, sis. You need to focus on this. But you really feel like you believe in whatever it is that you're doing. So let's say, for instance, we doing a podcast. And we really, really believe in this podcast. We know one day it's going to pop.
Mm-hmm.
But your friend is like, honestly, you need to get a job that pay you a little more money and just slow down with this podcast thing. When do you know it's like they trying to hold you accountable for what you're doing? And what's your opinion? When it's accountability versus being
throwing like slight
shade, right? Like when do you know? Or what's your opinion when you think you know? Because I feel like a lot of us struggle with that. Like I struggle with that sometimes. Like I feel like maybe somebody might be trying to throw a shot at me. Are they really trying to hold me accountable?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not 100% sure. Like, are you supporting me or are you trying to play me? Like, what is it?
That's when I had my blinders on with certain things that were said.
Okay.
Because I was just like, oh, like they were just voicing their opinion. But when you take the blinders off and you start rehashing things, it was just like, bitch, you were being shady on this. Like, you were throwing slight shade. One example. So, a cousin and I went to the Beyonce concert. It's so sad that I say it's a Beyonce concert because it was so the Jay-Z and Beyonce concert, but it was the Beyonce concert. Jay-Z's like a guest performer. But it rained horribly, so the show was postponed a little bit to where they thought they were going to cancel it, but it ended up going on. And I had like my other friends like, girl, how was it? Tell me what it was. You were supposed to send pictures, like blah, blah. And I had one friend that was like, so how was it? And when I said like, it was dope. We had a good time. Like the performances was good. It started raining. She was like, that's why I don't go to those things. And I was like, oh, you know what? In my mind, I'm just like, yeah, that's not her thing. But then with more and more examples, I was just like, this girl was just hating the entire time. Like, you were throwing like real short subliminals. Like, I was working out at one point really hard. And it was just like, I don't have time for that. Like, you go ahead. That's cute. Like that. And I was just like, but again, it's a friend for so long, you push it back. Yeah. Not realizing that those comments were really underhand shade. And it's, when you look at it, you're like, how can I even sit here and say that that's a friend? But then you also gotta look at your circle. When you're in a circle where, because listen, first of all, let's just be clear. I'm hella petty. I am petty. I am sarcastic as fuck. I could be shady. But when I started realizing I didn't want to be the queen of petty all the time, I started pulling back from that. When you're in a circle that's always petty, like they 24-hour petty, they 24-hour miserable, they're 24-hour not supportive, you gotta start looking at that and saying like, nah, I don't want that. And that's what I started saying for myself, like, I don't want that. And being around people like that stopped me from being vulnerable with how I felt. Like, I didn't really tell them how I felt. And if I did, it's like I worded it in a way that wasn't really expressing my true feelings. And that was a hindrance to me because I'm suppressing my feelings. So being that I'm suppressing my feelings with that and overall just not being vulnerable, I was raised a little tough. Like, emotions and stuff was something that was always like second or third hand. It wasn't something on the forefront. So years and years and years and years of suppressing your true feelings about how you feel things, it kind of sets you off in a type of whole bunch of different directions and feelings that you have suppressed so long, they start to take over. You ever seen like Ghostbusters? Right. We gonna go back to the old Ghostbusters, like the original ones, and when that goo was just surrounding like the Empire State Building or whatever. When shit started getting real with me, that's how I felt. Like all the emotions that I have bottled up for 40 years were now just taking over me. I was crying forever, like a week straight. And that's when I started
around.
This was turning from, as I was approaching 41.
You started old.
So I was diagnosed
Stay
with
old,
severe,
people.
yes, I was diagnosed with severe anxiety and severe depression because like an aunt of mine, which is a very close friend of mine, had passed away. And dealing with that, it was just like, okay, well, you know, she passed away, but it kind of opened that door that I had locked with all the emotions. Because it's like, you know what, well, okay, she was sick, like, I pushed it back. And that kind of just kicked the door open. And everything just started hitting me. And it was so hard for me to navigate through. Like my doctor sent me to a therapist like right away. She had like a social worker come and just briefly talk to me the day I went to her. Like my mom called my doctor and was just like, I need you to see her before her physical. You know, we're also going out of the country for a little bit, but she's just been going through a lot. Can you see her? And when I was there, like my doctor's never seen an emotional side of me at all, and I was crying when she came in the office. And I'm thankful for that experience because even though I was on the road to self-awareness and growing, it reinforced what I was already trying to do and let me know. It was like a reminder, like, girl, this is the path that you need to be on going forward. You can't backpedal anymore. And one of my really close friends said something like, I tell people all the time, and every time she hears me say it, she's like, oh my God, like, stop saying that. But she said something that really hit me. And she was like, you're always there for all your friends. No matter what it is that you're going through, like, you're always there. But who is there for you? And I was just like, I'm like, none of you bitches, because when you think about it, like, you're not there, but then I'm the strong friend.
It's
I'm
like
the
that.
strong friend. So they always think like, girl, you got it. They
That's
don't
the
think to say, how are you? Do you need anything? What's going on with you? I can say on a handful of friends that just randomly text me like, good morning, boo, you know, I'm just checking in on you, haven't heard from you, is everything okay? Like, messages like that mean more than just the regular sending articles and just random shit. Those messages where somebody's actually caring for you is so much better. And there's an Instagram page that I follow. I would like to say that it's Black Girl Therapy or Therapy for Black Girls.
Is that the podcast?
She has a podcast too.
I've heard about.
So she posts like a lot of things that make you really self-check or also reevaluate everyone around you. And there was one that made me realize, like, I really have to trim the people that are around me. There was one based off of apologies, and I remember having an argument with a friend, and the response was, I'm sorry that's how you feel.
Oh,
and
that's the words.
It was, I'm sorry that's how it made you feel. I'm sorry if you took it that way. And I'm sorry I can't love you how your other friends love you. And it was those 3 responses that said to me that this person just isn't for me. And I have to disconnect. Like, that person just is clipped. To me, it's like everyone's around me, like, they say her name and I'm like, who? Because for me, it was just like, she don't even exist. Because I realized that I've given so many passes. And you contributed to some of the feelings that I've stored. I don't want to be around people who make me feel that way anymore. So, like, when we were talking before this, when you were like, you, this, and I was like, oh, thank you, because I'm no longer being in the box to accommodate other people and how they feel I should be. Right. I'm going to be who the fuck I am, and if that don't fit you, then that just don't fit you, and it's okay. Like, I got stuck in my 20s and in my 30s. I was stuck in a place of trying to be someone else for everyone else to make them more comfortable. But who was adjusting themselves to make me comfortable? to a lot of things earlier, and you're cutting it off earlier. Like you're not caring. And we gotta encourage you guys to be non-caring. Because in a sense, it's not that you don't care, you're expressing yourself. Like you're letting it be known how a person or a thing, it could be work, it could be whatever. You guys feel so much more comfortable with just saying it now.
And I wonder why. It's the weirdest thing. Like, I don't even know where that came from, but I also do enjoy it. It has its pros, and it definitely has its cons. And then
as far as what? Like when you say cons,
the cons is like, I feel like it's the same as being like, in a way, short tempered. Like we got a short patience, and it's good and it's bad. Like just imagine, like you know how they say that like millennials, like we love job hopping because our patience is freaking short. Like we not interested in that little nasty boss, little nasty coworker. Like nobody's interested in that. So we just ready to just be like, go.
But I think that's a good thing. I view it as a good thing because you're not being stuck in places that you guys don't want to be in.
And you know what too, that's when you were saying that when you hit 40, and I think everybody should take that part key, that everything hit her at once. So just imagine all the things from let's say 18 to 39, you bottled up every freaking thing, everything that happened in your life that you wish that you would have did something differently, you would have said something differently. At 40, it's gonna hit you. So if you listen to this podcast today, these next years, you better figure it out. Yeah. Somebody say something you don't like, please just bring it up. If you friends with somebody that you feel like you shouldn't be friends with, please just leave them alone. And or like she said, set some people back. Like I do feel like sometimes there's people in our lives that they're imperfect, but they have somewhat good qualities. Like it's real hard to weigh out.
It's hard. It's a struggle. It's not even hard. It's definitely a struggle to weigh them out. But for me, if the positives of that friendship outweigh those little flaws, I stick with it because at the end of the day, I'm all about being genuine as well. And what I would say that if I could do differently in my 20s and 30s now is I wish I would have set boundaries in my relationships, even with my family or with my significant others and with my friends. You know, we don't do that. Like there is no guidebook on how to be a good friend, a good significant other, a good child. It's something that you learn. Like life is full of learning lessons.
And when you say set boundaries,
let people know, like what you will accept. Yeah.
You wish you would have did that like off the rip?
Yeah.
I mean, this is good stuff. That's hard. I wish to start doing that.
You know, and we struggle as human beings. We struggle with setting boundaries because it's hard. Like if you want a person in your life, you don't want to scare them off either. Right. But like on one of my previous shows, we talked about when you're dating, and those first 1 or 2 dates, and you're just like, so what is it that you're looking for? Because this is what I'm looking for. A lot of women don't lay all of that out in the beginning because they're scared that they're going to run that person off. But if that person is genuinely interested in getting to know you, those questions should never scare them.
That's a fact.
It should always be like, okay, well, you know, first of all, it should be looked at like, oh, well, she has a mind. She's very vocal on it. She doesn't shy away from certain conversations. Those are flags. Like if a person is making you feel bad for asking those questions off the rip, that's one of those people that you're gonna have to swipe right or left. Like just say like, okay, no, thank you. The boundaries are important. I wish I would have done that. I wish I would have communicated more with my significant others. You know, a lot of times we tend to communicate with everybody when we are angry. That's the worst time. Yes. Because everybody is saying things out of their feelings at that moment. A lot of things that can't be taken back, a lot of things that change things, the dynamics of relationships. I'm bigger on not speaking when I'm heated. Leave me alone. And we can always have the conversation after the fact, but having it right now, your words are gonna like keep pushing and pushing me to when I just start bringing the guns out, and then I now says shit and I'm like, fuck, shouldn't have even said that. Like, that shit was so fucked up. There's been times when I kind of replay conversations in my head, I'm like, girl, like, who raised you? Like, why did you come out like that? But I wish communication was a little bit more on the top of my priority list, as well as establishing boundaries, like for myself and even with that other person with me. I feel things would be so much, not better, but it kind of sets the tone for your relationships if those things were done. So I feel like you guys kind of do that, and then maybe you don't, but if you guys aren't, that's something to like look into. Making sure that you guys are able to comfortably communicate with each other. Like, I have a friend that I can talk to her about anything.
Right.
But if it's pertaining to her, I kind of give her like a warning, like, listen, girl, I have something to tell you. Don't take it any way. Like, I just want to hear me out first, and then we can have a conversation about it. As to where before, if I felt any kind of way about anything she said or did, I wouldn't say anything. I would just push it behind me and just eventually, well, I thought it would just disappear. It wasn't disappearing. It was just being, squished in that jar.
Right. And then I feel like you probably could potentially have saved the friendship or relationship had you set boundaries or had you said something off the rip. But now that you let this person, well, like you said, sometimes that's what people are. Had you let this person just go on a whole freaking rampage for years, and now you're like, oh, I hate this person. So you kind of, in some ways, could have saved certain relationships. And then you said that you're a parent. Do you feel like it kind of helped mold and shape you and prepare you for your 30s and 40s? Do you feel like it helped you? Like, well, not help, but you kind of, what has parenting done for you in your growth?
So in my growth, it just helped me. I focused a lot on my son and just trying to be the best parent for him. But what I did notice is that I was focusing too much on trying to be both parents. Because after a while, his father and I did separate. His father was around, but not around as much as I felt he should have been. So I'm trying to work. I'm trying to give him so much of like everything to make sure that he doesn't feel any kind of way that also was taken away from him.
It's true.
Like, it's draining. Being a parent is a business. Like, you're going 24 hours. As they get older, it does become a little bit easier, but then you hit with teens. When that teendom hits, it's a totally different ballgame.
In what sense?
Girl, there's been times I wanted to sell my son, put him out. I put him out a couple of times. I wanted to take him back to the hospital, like, he's giving me the wrong kid. Like, it's a phase that is just like.
But like when they hit those teen years, they just like,
you don't like your kid no more.
Bad as hell, thinking they grown.
They think they're grown. Today's kid is worse because I feel like every new generation gets worse and worse. I have a niece that she's only 5. She FaceTimes me and she's just like, so auntie, let me tell you how mommy was doing this. And I was just like, oh God. And I text them all the time, like, your child has been here before. Like, there's something wrong with her. She's one of those that you look at with the side eye, like, girl, I don't know. But when the teens hit, it's a totally different, you cry. Like, these kids make you cry. Because it's just like, what the fuck?
So you feel like so it's like infant, then it's like toddler, then it's like teen, then it's like adult.
Yeah.
Which one do you think would be?
Yeah, I feel like the teens was the hardest for me.
Ooh, I love that. I think that I have a lot of friends that's like parents, like I know so many parents. So that was the other thing too, like why I was excited that she was a parent, because I feel like I said the podcast was for everybody, and then I was kind of like excluding parents. And
no, girl, these podcasts be for everybody.
I want everybody. So that's something they hear, because like I know that they already just started becoming a parent, and they're like, oh my God, I always gotta be up. And then it's like, oh, did you hear about the teenage years though?
They need to enjoy the infant and toddler phase as much as possible, because when those hormones hit, it becomes a different child. You don't know who your kid is. Like, my son is what I call a true Gemini. Because Lord, like one day he'll be this person, and the next day I will text my mom like, "Oh God, that twin is here," and I don't even know. She's like, "Y'all keep your distance," because she knows like him and I will argue more when that other side is out than when his normal self is there. So I feel like because he's like at that ending of May going into June, like he is the true definition of Geminis. But we struggled the most during his teen zone. And it makes you as a parent question like, what the fuck did I do? Like, where did I mess up? Let me try and go back. Like you start going back in your memories like, I do this, like, but I did that, and it's just like you question yourself more. So I would always tell people enjoy that infancy and toddler phase because they love you so much, and your kids will always love you. Like my son, I hear him talk about me to his friends all the time. I know that my son loved me, but I know that there was a time that he didn't like me neither, and I was just like, I don't care if you don't like me. Like I am not here for you to like. I'm not here to be friends. You know, later on in time, our conversations will be different because my conversations with my mom now are different. We are very close. So anyone who knows me, like they know that my mom and I are close. I feel so much more free in saying exactly how I feel to her than I ever had in my life. Ever. Like I've never been able to talk to my mom so openly. And with these experiences that I've gone through in my life, it's made her open up more as well too. Like to hear my mom talking so freely and the changes that she's making in her life, and knowing that it came from it was a dark time for me, but to see the great things that have come out of it, I love that. So that's why I feel like everybody's journey is different. It may hit people at an earlier time or it may hit people at a later time. But we also have to know that it just may not hit people at all. And it's okay because that's their life. But for you, you gotta ask yourself, are you okay
with that idea? And then also as a parent, when now that your son is 21, do you feel like you still find yourself just like trying to be the perfect parent? Like I feel like every parent, like they try like, oh, I'm trying to be a perfect parent. I'm trying to like you said, when you said that, it was certain times you was like, yo, where did I go wrong? I did everything I can for you and you're bugging out right now. Yeah. Like, do you feel like after a certain age they hit you just like, you know what, I did what I can? And not in a bad way, because even now that I'm older, I have just going through like all the things that I go through. I'm like, our parents had to go through something.
Yeah.
We don't know what the hell happened back then. Right. I don't know what they went through. So obviously, it's in some ways we don't want it to, but it's gonna reflect on your parents' style. It's gonna reflect certain things. It's just gonna reflect on what you do, how you react to things, and then us as a kid, because we grown up with you, we kind of like, why is she acting like that? Yeah. But it's like that's all you know.
So like, there's a different set of worries that hit when your baby now enters the adult life. You worry a bit more. Like right now, my son is still living with me, but he always talks about moving out, but he wants the house. He wants to do this, and that worries me in a sense because when he's gone, I don't know shit now. Now I don't know nothing. So I'm just like, I'm not gonna have that type of communicative relationship with him that I have with my mom. Like my mom and I text every day. I live in the same house with my child, and if I'm not home, I don't know nothing. Like days can go by. I sometimes don't even see him. So I worry about that because we're in a climate now where, unfortunately, we do have to worry about our Black boys more. My son is a walking target every day. He's a Black male. He's a young Black male. He's not viewed in a good way at all. He's automatically looked at in a negative. So that worry, whenever he's out the house, is just like, you're always thinking. You have to train your mind to say like, you know what, I've done the best that I can as far as a parent. He knows right from wrong. My son says all the time, one thing that my son told me in his late teens is that you don't need to wonder if you didn't do right as far as a mom. It's not you, it's me. And I was just like, whose kid is this? Like, it made me, because I was just like, wow. But my son expresses himself a little bit more than I have ever. So it's just like hearing him say that, like coming from him, it kind of calmed me in a sense. Like, okay, well, I did a good job. But it's a different set of fears. And I feel with every generation, there's always going to be a different set of fears. Like, I grew up in a generation where there were no cell phones. So, like, if your kid was outside, they were just outside. You didn't know where they were. You didn't have anywhere to find my kid or find my friend. Like, we had payphones. Right. And we had to call our parents if we weren't in the house by the time the street lights came on. So it was a different time. Now we have so much access to everything. It's just like if I'm calling him and if he doesn't answer, I'm just like, oh, okay, like I have to keep myself busy, but it's always a fear. It's just so much that are against our kids that you worry. It's not so much about them. Like he used to tell me all the time, Mom, you don't have to worry about me when I'm out here in these streets. And I said, the thing is that I don't worry about you. I worry about the people around you. I don't trust the world. Okay. I'm okay with you.
I know you ain't gonna do nothing.
Right. It's when you step outside this door, is all of those different factors that are out there. So you do worry. You tend to worry a little bit less. There's times when he's out, I knock out. But before I used to could not sleep if my son was not in the house. Like I would doze in and out of sleep. And when he would come home, then I would fall into these sleep. Girl, sometimes I wouldn't get a comfortable sleep to maybe 2-3 hours before I actually had to get up in the morning.
Oh my God, I feel so bad. So my parents had to.
Yes. And now I used to be like, oh my God.
I'll be the
mom like this. And she had no phone. There was no way she could call me. So I was just like, oh my God. And I text her sometimes I'm sorry, if I made you wait, she'd be like, huh? You see what I'm going? But you know what? It's different too because my family was mostly females. We have now 5 boys out of maybe 8 girls. There's so many of us. So we grew up as just a family with females. So when the boys actually started coming in, it's just that's a different breed. None of us knew how to deal with boys. It was just oh, they're rough, they're nasty, they're just so much more lazier than females too. Okay. But I feel they're lazy too because I come from a West Indian background. So West Indian moms, not me and my mother different, but my grandmother, my great grandmother, my aunts and my great aunts, they tend to cater more to the males. So it's always taking care of the males more, making things easier for them. But for the females, I didn't live with my grandmother. If I was at my grandmother's house, we all got up at 6 o'clock on Saturday to clean the house, and I was just I don't. Yeah, I used to deal with that back in the day. I don't look at I have my own house. It's just I'm cleaning there and I'm cleaning that room. But we had to do more than what the boys did. That's true. So I'm a little bit harder on my son. My son was washing clothes at 10. Coming with me to the laundry, learning how to separate. He knows how to cook. I don't cook for him. I stopped cooking for him for a while. He complains about that all the time, and I'm just bro, at this stage in your life, take care of yourself. We eat totally different. So you need to cook for yourself. I'm not rushing home. Those days of me coming home straight after work and cooking all that other stuff, that stopped a long time ago. So you should be accustomed to it. And if you're hungry, you know it, or go outside and get something to eat. You can take care of yourself. But they're different. They're different. So you need to enjoy your babies. When they're babies, hug them, kiss them, appreciate, be grateful. Do a gratitude journal through this whole time and write what you're thankful for at that phase because it goes by so quickly. And then when those hormones kick in, it's a totally different ballgame. Wow. Yeah. So you said your kid gave you some stresses, but for me, I was thinking too, when I look at older people, I feel they might be stressed, but they don't wear it on their. It doesn't show. Do you feel you actually flow with stress, or is it just that you know how to? Do you feel you know how to deal with stress better when you were 20s versus now? I feel I did way better now. I would be so stressed out, and I would never let anybody see me be stressed. I wouldn't communicate that I'm stressed. I would just deal with it on my own. But every day, no one would ever know any of the stresses that I went through because I made it work. My son taught me that. Like, I was already kind of raised to be very independent, but having him just reinforced it. And I always feel like, listen, I don't have the time to sit here and let stress take over me because I gotta do this. I gotta go to work. I gotta make sure my son is good. I gotta make sure his homework is done. It kept me pushing, but it damages you later on when you move like that.
So
If you're stressed sitting there.
So you kind of just, you basically saying, I said, I'm not going to let stress consume me right now because I got to deal with
There's so many other things
my dad, work, blah, 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 blah. So that's kind of how you cope with it, but it still impacts you later on in life.
Yeah.
So you kind of.
So now I deal with it like more. If I'm feeling stressful, I sit in that stress. Like if I'm stressed at work, for example, I'll sit back, like I'll stop what I'm doing and I'll sit and I'll just say, okay, just breathe. I go through the moments and then I just say, okay, and I push it through. Sometimes when you're always pushing through something, it doesn't work all the time. So now I deal with stress way more. And then I learned a lot of tools when I was going to therapy as far as like stress relievers and things like that. I never knew that stuff before. In your 20s and 30s now, in today's day and age, there's so many different things.
Mental health. Yeah, mental health is like this big thing now. It's like you're enjoying.
So you have those tools available to you now as to where we didn't have that. It was just always like you push through it, you push through it, you push through it, you push through it. Now I deal with stress way better. Like if I gotta sit in the house all day by myself, door closed, chilling with Netflix or whatever, that's what I would do to get through the moment. That was me yesterday. I don't know what the fuck was wrong. Like I just felt so, I hate the world. Like I have my blinds closed and I watched Netflix and Hulu all day. And I woke up today like, like it was a totally different thing. You need that sometimes. You need to just sit
and take a break.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, describe your 30s in 3 words. Like what is it you would say? 3 words is a little hard probably, right? Is it, girl, let's see. 3 words so they know what it is and what time it was about to happen. I feel like first of all you gave so much insight. Like I already grabbed like,
you guys make sure, one thing I would say is like try and take something away from this because it will help. Like I'm not here to toot my own horn at all, but I wish that I had somebody who, when I was in my 20s and they were like in their 40s, kind of not so much sit me down, but just gave their experiences and what they went through as a way to kind of say, you know, listen, if you could do this early, if you can switch this now, do it. Don't wait until, later on. I tell my son all the time, because he's just like, oh, you come from this, and I'm like, we're only literally 20 years apart. Like, we listen to the same music. We're really not that different. I'm telling you these things because I went through it, and I don't want you to go through it, but it's your path. So at the end of the day, I can only give you words of advice and just pray that you take something from it when you're going on your course. But for my 30s, like, I enjoyed life in my 30s. But I would say my 30s were a mixture of happiness, anger,
love that,
and just having a good time because I like, being out. Like at my 30s, I was ready to be out all the time. But so I would say like happy, angry, and just maybe not so much being a Tatiana in the sense that I was out there thotting, bobbing, but just enjoying.
I think I love that because I feel like I'm so happy you use those 3 words as a description because I feel like with 30 and everybody is trying to put this big cap on 30, and not only that, you had a son, and you kind of still was like, you was there. You said you had to play both parent roles.
So you play both parent
moms and
roles.
single dads. A lot of people are surprised at the amount of single dads that are out there, and I don't think they get the credit that they deserve.
Yeah, they really don't. No, this year for Father's Day, I peeped that Father's Day was way different.
Yeah, it was.
Like the
vibe
amount
was
of recognition.
Yeah.
Like I was even like, dang, they go kind of hard. Like I was here like they go hard for these little fathers.
Because we forget that, like, but they are just
trying to
as
improve.
dedicated as
They're
the
trying to
single moms are.
Yeah.
So, and that's another thing. Don't ever let anyone shame you into having kids so young and making you feel like you're in your early 20s. You shouldn't have a
heard
kid.
it first.
Because let me tell y'all something. The energy level is different in your 20s and in your 40s. I don't know what I would do with a crying 3-month-old at 41. I probably would be crying right into this baby.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's so much energy that is needed, and I'm so thankful that I had my son at 21 because I was able to keep up with him. I don't know if I'll be able to keep up with a child in my 40s and 50s the same. You know, you have to do it, so you're going to push through, but you're tired. I'm tired now, and I don't have any babies. Like, I can go to sleep at 9 o'clock sometimes and feel good, but I also set like a strict routine. So I get up at like 5 in the morning, I do my shit before I start getting ready for work, and then I start my day. But 8 hours, I have to get 7 to 8 hours of sleep in my 40s compared to before. I used to, at 20, let's say 24, 25, with a kid and working full time. Going out on a Saturday or going out on a Sunday, I was up at 6 o'clock with no problem.
Wow.
Full of energy. Getting him ready
Shout
to
out
go
to
to
Dina.
daycare. Like, your 20s are different. You're full of
Your
energy.
energy is on like 1,000.
Full
That
of-
makes sense.
Girl, I see people
I'm
struggling with
tired
struggles. Exactly. So don't let anybody make you feel bad for your life choices. We're not gonna always agree with everybody's life choices, but it's their life. We're all created to have our own journey. Like, no one is ever gonna agree, but continue to stand up for yourself. That's one thing that I would say. You millennials don't play. Like, somebody comes for y'all, it's a movement. There's hashtags, there's everything. So continue to use your voice. Continue to stand up for, if it's one thing, yourself. Don't allow anybody to push you in a box. Don't allow anybody to downplay how you feel to make them comfortable. Shine in your own right and not give a fuck. Like, that's my biggest thing. Stop giving a fuck. Like, I have a fuck bank account. And I feel like it's gotten smaller. But I give a certain amount of fucks. Yes, and you know what I'll do? I'll send you the title of the book that I have. But it was a book, and it was just like, you know what, this bitch is right. Like, why do we give so much fucks to the things that no one, not even ourselves, care about? We need to apply those fucks in the right places. And that should be solely on you. It's okay to be expressive and let people know how you feel. I always feel like as long as it's done in a respectful way, no one can feel any kind of way. And I feel like when your family or your friends are able to come to you and let you know about yourself, when they check on you, they care about you. But again, it has to be done respectfully. Because if it's being done in a disrespectful way, for me personally, I'm not hearing it. Like, everything that you said went in one ear and came out the other, because all I'm focusing on is how you feel. So we can communicate as long as it's respectful, and if ain't nobody checking you how you are moving, they don't care about you at all.
And that's what it is. So I think one of the key, for me, like the key takeaways, boundaries. And I know this is a lot of stuff that Dina said, we really preach, we practice. We preach it, but we don't practice it. But I feel like it's important because she is 41. She has a child. She's telling y'all what it is. And I think that it was boundaries that you said. Just being yourself, having that don't give a fuck meter on constantly. And if it's and your last words is like, keep speaking up for yourself. I think those are one of the key things that really gives you anxiety and stress. And so yes, Dina came through and just the camera stopped, but y'all gotta listen to the podcast. You gotta get the full deep. You gotta listen.
Yes, make sure you guys tune in. This was a great experience, honestly. Like, Brittany, you made me feel so comfortable. Because sometimes I get really nervous because you don't want to overstep your boundaries in a sense. And of course, you don't want to dominate anybody's show. But the vibe was just so good. Like, I wouldn't mind doing this over and over and over again, girl.
But yes, definitely go check out Not For Everybody podcast.
Yeah.
I loved it. I listened before I invite anybody over. I always listen to the podcast because I just want to know like the personality, the energy. So definitely go listen to that. Follow her on Instagram. Follow her on Twitter.
Yes.
Make
sure you guys tune in because listen, I listen to podcasts too, so I know how it goes. And I know sometimes we go up and we go down. So make sure y'all check Brittany out. You don't have to listen to every episode because you know what? Life is life. Let's just say that. Sometimes we get so bombarded with things, but podcasting has also helped a lot. And there are a lot of gems that are dropped. You'll be surprised by the things that you get from podcasting.
Yo.
And for us, I feel like it's also a free form that allows us to get a lot of things out. So definitely check them out. Listen to Randy. Make sure y'all support. Support is number one.
Support is key.
Yes. We're just here trying to do something, and I feel like this community can get so much bigger. It is growing drastically.
It really is.
But I feel like everyone comes together, it can grow so much further than what we're seeing it. So who's to say where Brittany will be in the next couple of months? It could be in a month, it could be in 6 months, it could be in a year. But I would just definitely say stay focused. Don't get distracted. Even if you feel like you need to take a break, take a break. I took a month off from podcasting because you know shit just gets busy.
It does.
Don't feel like you have to just stick to you. I'm proud of you. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for coming to my podcast. I'm very, very, very grateful. Every time I get something, I'm like, thank you so much. I mean that from the bottom of my heart.
Anytime you want me here, girl.